Hey all, and this is the Snowbrawl Winter Christmas event. This is a Light Slayer event and Immortal Killer. So I made up a few teams. I actually did the vault yesterday. I wanted to see if I could have a chance of getting that extra pink star, but unfortunately I didn't get any of the cards needed for that. So I made up a few teams. This first team is just a team out of older Ultimate forms. This is quite a decent team for quick killing up to around Ruby. It can kill the Ruby bosses on turn 1. So these are all older cards. That's the main hero. I got that on, I believe, tier 3 of the vault. Quite a good card as it creates 6 power gems plus creates extra power gems at the start of each turn. That was a very welcomed card, if I'm being honest. Astral Anomaly is another card. This one also has the revive skill on it. So that's quite useful, as with this card as lead, the HP on the team is relatively low. Then the Relentless Scholars, another older ultimate form. So this is just a basic team to kill up to around Ruby. With the relics, you need relics that break the immortal shields. This is why I have a dark relic to start. Another light relic there. I managed to make the ultimate relic for this deck. I got an extra relic. This actually breaks 2 immortal shield plus 1 per Light Slayer ultimate hero on the team. So that's actually pretty good. I think that would probably break 5 with my team, so I could probably take out that dark relic. Yeah, 2. No, there's 4. That would probably break all 6 shields, actually, I believe. So that would be effective on its own to get rid of all the shields. So alternative decks, what you can try is high performance unit area with 4 immortal killer cards. Even if they are commander cards like this deck, you should still find the damage is actually pretty decent. If you're really struggling for decks, that's something you could use. Or another option, here I have 3 Light Slayer Immortal Killer cards. I've added this card to the team just to boost up the power gems, even though it is Beast Killer. And then again, high performance unit area to try and get that boost to boost up all the Immortal Killer cards. This is probably my strongest deck. The problem is that some of the solo bosses have Toxin on, and I think a few of the guild bosses do as well, but that's not so much of an issue. Toxin, as you know, blocks high performance unit area, and unfortunately that messes up this deck. So you may need to put a Toxin counter on the team. Let's have a quick look through. Toxin, there we go. As you can see from that, my light Toxin counter cards are very, very limited. So, yeah, that's actually a major problem unless I put that Warden on the team. So just be aware of that if you're going up against any solo bosses that do have Toxin. So this time around I'm going to open the vault before the event starts. I'm going to do the first 3 tiers. So here we go. The main reason I'm doing this is in case I get one of the cards and can claim that free pink star. Unsurprisingly, the first tier wasn't very good. Let's try tier 2. I'm not expecting this to be much good either, but you never know. Well, that's promising. So I got an extra relic. I'm not sure if that's the main or the rare relic, so let's do this tier as well and see what happens. That could be interesting. Okay, so I can make up the ultimate relic out of what I have got, so that should help a little bit with making up a decent team. Alright, so on to the actual event. One of the main new features of this event are these Snowbrawl bosses. You can see one there that's just been killed, so let's go and claim this. Now these give snowball items. You normally get 2 snowballs for defeating one of these. These can be traded with your guild. I'm going to tag the new one. Now, I highly recommend focusing on these bosses. Try to make sure you either tag or kill every single one that appears when you can. These snowball items have a chance to give some decent rewards, actually. I've had relics, I've had Master Collection heroes, I've had ultra rare heroes. I've had a bunch of other Generation 3 cards. Most of the time you will get coal from them. And as far as I'm aware, coal doesn't actually have any use, so bear that in mind. Out of around 30 snowballs, you should get 3 to 4 decent items if you're lucky. If I back out of this screen as well, here we go, let's go on to the Snowbrawl section. There are daily quests. There are also community quests. The idea behind these is you're meant to work together to complete them. So there we go. I've done all of these already. You can see you can activate boss frenzies, and there's care packages as well. No one has bought a care package yet, as far as I'm aware, on my team. I'm not even sure if it's a team or not. Last time it was a team. I think it might need to be by the guild. And there we go. That's to do with the care packages. I think it's for whichever guild is at the top or who has bought the most packages. So yeah, that's quite interesting. It all requires gems though, so probably not something I'm going to do. So let's go back to the actual event. It's time to start testing out my teams. So if we look at this boss here, this one has Toxin. And it's the more problematic out of the bosses. I made up a team that has a Toxin counter. This is basically the only one I have. There we go, Dispel Toxin. However, it makes the team considerably weaker, so it's not overly effective. I may try adding the Toxin counter card to this team. I know this is a commander team, but I think this could potentially be the most effective. So there we go. I could also try one of the legend cards, but I don't think that's going to be very good. Let's just try this anyway. That's what the relics look like. But yeah, Toxin really is a killer for anyone who wants to use some sort of golems-based deck for this event. So the important thing at the start is to try and match a few dark gems so they spawn a few more. Then on turn 4, unfortunately, I have to use high performance unit area. Then that boosts up the 3 middle cards. And hopefully the damage will be semi-decent. Let's see. Even though this is a commander deck, I think it's probably the best out of the decks I am using. So there's the damage, around 100 trillion. And then just repeat the process, basically. It's a slow deck, but I don't have anything that's really fast for the solo bosses, unfortunately. Not this time around. I don't have the event deck. So this, I think, is probably the best option out of my decks for the toxin bosses. Obviously, without the toxin counter, this team would do considerably more damage. Now I need to try and match dark gems again. There we go. So yeah, it's not bad considering it's a commander deck, but it's not especially good either. There we go. So that's got rid of the nasty toxin boss anyway. The other boss did not have counter. Let's see if anything else spawns. No, it didn't. So let's try out some of my other teams on this boss. The light commander deck may be the main one I use for any locked bosses, but for non-locked bosses, I think it's probably best if I go with this team. The reason for that is because I can try and get 5% or 10% on turn 1 or 2. Well, hopefully turn 1. Should be turn 1. You normally get a full grid of light power gems at the start, so I think my other decks are going to be too slow though compared to this one. So yeah, basic strategy is to try and get 5% on diamond bosses this event, or 10%. As you can see, that's the damage it does, and then the bonus attack hits. Let's just back out quickly. Just see what percentage damage that actually did to the boss. So that gave 10% on the boss on turn 1. So yeah, try and focus on hitting Diamond and Diamond Inferno, and I may do okay this event. You never know. Right, I think I'm going to try the third team here. Hopefully this would do okay. I've not tried this deck out yet. I think my light commander deck is probably the most effective one on anything that's locked though, but this may do decent damage. 3 immortal killer cards with 1 beast killer. Again, I need quite a few turns before I can use this deck, so it's basically useless on other people's solos. Let's see what it does anyway. There we go, got the supercharged up. And that gives a full crush. Yeah, so it's not bad. The commander deck was actually doing more damage, though, so... Looks like commander deck it is for this event. So yeah, I just need to focus on making that stronger where I can. Make 2 versions, one for toxin bosses and one for non-toxin bosses. This is unfortunately just not giving enough power gems, as you can see. If I swap out that card, I won't get enough power gems. The other problem now is trying to get a match on dark gems, so yeah, it's not a good team. Lots of power gems there were spawning. This final hit might be okay if it doesn't eat all the power gems. Yeah, there we go. I think timed out now. That was a good final hit, actually. Oh, look at that. It's going to be left on stupid low health, so I guess I could just use the 1 key. Will 1 key kill it? I have no idea. I'll just use 3 keys anyway, just in case it doesn't kill it. So yeah, what I think I'm going to do is power up this team as strong as possible. And make up 2 variants of that commander deck. One for toxin bosses and one for normal bosses. And hopefully that will get me through the event. And with a bit of luck, keep me in Legends. But this is going to be a real struggle this time around. So I'm not expecting to stay in Legends, if I'm being honest. Alright, so I've actually managed to get quite a few snowballs. This will give you an idea of what these snowballs contain. Most of the time, they contain coal. However, the occasional time, you will get something decent. So yeah, that's what you normally get from these holiday coal. I don't think holiday coal has any real use, unfortunately. I still recommend trading them. The odd time you will actually get something decent from these. It takes a bit of time. There we go. It does happen. But yeah, as you can see, most of the time you get coal. There's another, I think that's a support card. That wasn't bad. 2 cards out of 10 snowballs. Oh, that's pretty good. Managed to get something on the first snowball. So yeah, you just have to be patient with these. You get a lot of coal. Ooh, hold on. Managed to get a relic there. That was a good result. So yeah, this is actually a very good feature of the event. I know the cards and relics don't come up very often, however, snowballs are really easy to get, and if you trade a bunch of them, you will hopefully get something decent from them. Alright, so on to the event rewards. This time around it's a GVG Hammers collection. So there we go. Out of the rewards here, the gems are pretty useful. Season choice coins, probably useful as well. Orbs of EXP too, they're very welcomed. There's another one a bit further in. Got summoning coins as well. There's not much else of use there, if I'm being honest. As always, tons of support coins that don't really have any use during the event at all. Once you've made the one support card 6 stars, you can just make them with gold after the event. So I don't really know why they put so many in the collection. And now this time it's a Warden with auto heal. There we go. So auto heal, this is okay if used in later positions. You really need it with Ironclad though to make it effective. A 4 pink star Warden with auto heal can be an absolute pain to get past. However, as it is now, it's not especially useful, and if you're going to use that Warden, you do really need to make it Ironclad with pink stars. One thing I may not have mentioned regarding the community rewards, I think the final reward is actually the Glorious Golems. If you have a look here, you can see that as the reward, or it might be you can choose an ultimate form, not quite sure yet, but that's definitely interesting, and I'm looking forward to hopefully unlocking that later on. So finally, I do want to have a look at the actual event deck. As I don't have the event deck, I can try and judge if it's any good or not. So here are the 2 cards. I could make one of them, but I'm not going to. Father Christmas, so that creates 8 Power Gem level 6s. Whenever another Light Slayer activates their battle skill, creates another Power Gem. So that's actually really powerful by the looks of it. This looks like a good deck. Then Rudolph has a healing skill as well and increases Light Slayer attack. So again, this does look like a very powerful deck. Lots of power gems. But it's what I'm expecting nowadays. Yeah, it creates a ton of power gems and increases Light Slayer attack. So I can only imagine what sort of damage this would do when mixed in with the Golems deck. I should imagine the damage would be absolutely huge. And there we go. I think that about covers this event. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to help. And thanks for watching.